I believe you are the right person to lead the BPA and to provide much-needed stability as the agency works to get back on its feet. You have the experience in the energy sector to help guide BPA into the next 75 years as a reliable, low-cost provider of electricity and electric transmission services for the region. And you have the skills to work with the region's utilities, wind farms, and other producers in support of lasting regional solutions to wind integration, treaty negotiations, and other energy issues. I look forward to working with you and the many dedicated, hardworking employees at BPA who have made and will continue to make the lives of all of us here in the Pacific Northwest better and brighter. Sincerely, Ron Wyden, United States Senator.
And so today is a new beginning. And two things that endure about Bonneville are a sense of pride and mission and a culture of innovative thinking. That sense of pride has also helped us persevere through difficult challenges over the past several months. And to that, and if I may speak also for our customers, stakeholders, tribes, and the region's citizens, would like to thank our employees for not being too distracted and instead putting their collective heads down and doing their jobs well. I've many times been asked hesitantly by friends and contemporaries, how are we doing? To that, my reply has always been, considering the circumstances, we're doing well, because our employees are proud and focused on what we're all about. As we look forward, I can't think of a better person to lead us as our new administrator than Elliot Mainzer. I've known Elliot for over a decade, and since the day he walked into our building, I've been impressed by his creativity, his intellect, his energy, as well as his gift of eloquence, which you're going to get to experience firsthand in a few minutes. But all humor aside, in terms of a culture of innovative thinking as we look forward, Elliot is the guy to lead us in making a collective big leap forward. The Northwest is blessed with abundant supplies of greenhouse gas-free electricity comprised of renewable hydropower, nuclear power, and more recently wind. But we need to continue to be leaders, as we have been, in sustaining the value of the hydro resource base, as well as in renewable resource integration and energy efficiency, to extend the reach of the region's low carbon footprint for our children. In his remarks, Elliot will go into more detail about his priorities and the challenges we face. As we approach these challenges, we also need to be a responsible and forward-looking regional citizen. To that end, as an institution, Steve Wright was often fond of saying, we don't exist to serve ourselves, we exist to serve the region. The challenge with that is the region's interests and expectations of us aren't monolithic. In fact, they often push and pull us from opposite directions. So we need to be good listeners and also promote regional solutions, even those that don't necessarily put us at the center. We need to bring people along, but we can't drag them along. In closing, I can't think of a better person to lead us into this brave new world than Elliot Mainzer. Now, if we could have Elliot's wife, Margaret Peterson Mainzer, and Randy Roach, our general counsel, join us on the stage, it's time for the oath of office. Thank you very much.
So if you would be so good as to repeat after me. I, Elliot Ethan Mainzer,
I, Elliot Ethan Mainzer,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. You two may hug.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Claudia. And thank you all for being here this morning. I really, really do appreciate you making the time to be here. And it's a great honor for me to be addressing you as the 15th Administrator of the Bonneville Power Administration. Now, as I think some of you have heard me say before, if you'd asked me 7-8 months ago whether I'd be standing here today in this capacity at this particular point in time, I certainly would not have predicted it. But life most definitely works in mysterious ways. And I'm both humbled and excited by the opportunity, and certainly pleased to serve at such an important and I think historically significant time for the Pacific Northwest. And while this is clearly a very meaningful moment for me personally, what we're really here today to talk about are the tremendous people and historical legacy of BPA, and to look forward to the challenges and opportunities that will define our collective future. So throughout my 12 years at BPA, I've been fortunate to have some very wonderful teachers and mentors. I learned the meaning of BPA's public service mission from all three of the Steves, Wright, Hickok, and Oliver. Brian Silverstein helped me make the leap from power to transmission, then into corporate strategy, where I was able to learn the art of balancing preference service with open access. I've benefited most definitely from the wise counsel of former Administrator Randy Hardy and former Deputy Administrator Jack Robertson, and have been often reminded to take the long view from my very dear friend Walt Pollack. From my predecessor, Bill Drummond, I carry forward his deep appreciation for the people who make Bonneville such a wonderful place to work and the importance of customer and constituent satisfaction. I'd also like to thank Ralph Cavanagh for pioneering a path of constructive and pragmatic environmentalism, and to Rachel Shimshak for reminding me that planning is good, but doing is better. And with the passing of former BPA Administrator Peter Johnson this last week, I also was reminded of the importance of public engagement in making good public policy decisions, and of having the courage to do the right thing under very difficult circumstances. I appreciate the opportunity that Secretary of Energy Ernest Moniz has afforded me to carry on the great legacy of the 14 BPA administrators before me. I also want to extend my personal thanks to our customers and to the Northwest Congressional Delegation for their steadfast support for BPA during the past 7 months. While recognizing our mistakes and clearly expecting us to address them, our customers in the delegation were also instrumental in reminding the broader public of our long history of providing value to the Pacific Northwest and our critical role within the region. I'm also grateful for their personal support and encouragement as I embark on my journey here as administrator. One lesson I've very clearly learned, however, is that the support and trust of our customers in the region is something that we must earn every single day. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the past 7 months have been an extremely difficult period for BPA's employees and contractors. Throughout all of the challenges, however, I've been deeply impressed by the dedication, strength, and character of our people. Every single member of our workforce has helped to maintain business continuity and carry forward Bonneville's important public service mission during this unprecedented and very unsettling period. I want to personally thank you all for your efforts, and I think it's a testament to the quality of the people that we have working here at the Bonneville Power Administration. Thank you again for that, folks. Since the moment I became acting administrator last July, I could see real clearly that we needed to be very focused and disciplined to navigate the troubled waters before us. I think many of you have now heard of the top 3 priorities that I've used to guide BPA during this period: run the business, take care of our people, and fix the problems associated with our hiring practices. And I'm pleased to say today that we've made great progress in the past few months in addressing the problems with our hiring practices. First of all, we made an absolutely excellent hire in our new Human Resources Director, Brian Carter. We've also made significant progress in the job reconstruction process, having already worked through over 40% of the external cases, made 50 offers of employment, and have already welcomed 20 new people to BPA. We're very excited to welcome a new cadre of military service veterans to Bonneville. They're going to join the several hundred veterans who are already part of our workforce and have been making remarkable contributions to our success for many, many years. So we're well on our way to completing the necessary staff training to regain our delegated hiring authorities from DOE. And perhaps most importantly, we've strengthened communication and coordination channels with our colleagues in Washington, D.C. to ensure that nothing like this ever happens again, and that BPA is able to maintain its historical focus on serving the interests of the Pacific Northwest. More broadly, Bonneville faces enormous succession planning challenge. More than half of our executive team are or will be eligible for retirement within the next 2 to 3 years. And so developing that next generation of leaders and positioning Bonneville for long-term success is going to be one of my highest priorities as administrator. And as we develop that next generation of BPA leaders, we're going to have to continue to strengthen our internal culture. This means striving to ensure that all employees work in a healthy work environment and making sure that safety is job number 1. I'm pleased to announce that within the next few weeks, I'll be introducing a new safety value to add to our existing BPA values of trustworthy stewardship, collaborative relationships, and operational excellence. Nothing is more important to me than the personal safety of our workforce and the people that we serve. So quite simply, as with BPA administrators before me, my most important strategic priority is to maintain and enhance the value of the Federal Columbia River power and transmission system. Our power and transmission assets are aging, and they require significant capital investment to allow them to provide reliable and low-cost service for many years to come. I intend to work closely with our customers and other stakeholders to develop a long-term capital investment strategy that is optimized across our various asset classes and is sustainable in terms of customer rate impacts and access to capital. This is a very important work, and the future of BPA simply depends on it. At the same time that we're investing to sustain our core assets, it's become clear that the federal hydro system no longer has sufficient capacity to meet all of the modern demands that we're placing on it. In order to honor our statutory obligations to our preference customers and to meet our obligations as an open access transmission provider, we must bring non-federal resources of balancing capacity and flexibility into our operations, including both supply side and demand side resources. We must also address growing reliability and cybersecurity compliance requirements and do so as efficiently and low cost as possible. In short, we must both sustain and modernize our assets. With the recent release of the 2014 Supplemental Biological Opinion, the region's long-standing debate about salmon recovery is once again front and center. I have tremendous confidence in our Fish and Wildlife team and have been very pleased to see the level of alignment within the federal family with respect to this supplemental BiOp. Our Fish Accord partners also continue to be very supportive of our strategy, and with increasing fish survival past the dams and some record returns, I'm confident that we're making tremendous progress in meeting our fish and wildlife objectives. But I also acknowledge that there are interests within the region who are not yet prepared to offer their support. While I believe that the program we've put in place meets both the letter and the spirit of the Endangered Species Act and the Northwest Power Act, I'm committed to maintaining dialogue with the various parties in the basin, including our critics, and would like to find a way for all of us to work together as partners rather than adversaries on this very important topic of shared interest. Another important and pressing strategic initiative concerns the future of the Columbia River Treaty. In short, the treaty needs to be modernized to more fairly reflect the distribution of coordinated operational benefits between the U.S. and Canada, to ensure that flood risk management and other key river uses are preserved, and to address ecosystem function in a way that complements the significant investments we've made to protect fish and wildlife over the past 3 decades. As we await word from the State Department about whether and how they intend to take up the issue with Canada, I look forward to continued collaboration with regional sovereigns, our customers, and other interests to achieve a modernized and equitable Columbia River Treaty. Energy efficiency and demand response are also high on my strategic agenda. Few regions of the world have achieved more with respect to energy efficiency than the Pacific Northwest. The region's 5,300 megawatt conservation power plant continues to provide value for regional consumers, and energy efficiency remains the lowest cost and least cost resource in the Pacific Northwest. As the region begins a robust dialogue about the future of our energy efficiency activities, I'm looking forward to working with the Northwest Power and Conservation Council, the Northwest Energy Efficiency Alliance, Northwest Energy Coalition, our Northwest governors, customers, and other energy efficiency advocates across the region to craft a strategy that maintains the region's valuable focus on energy efficiency while examining ways to meet our objectives as efficiently as possible and recognizing that not all of our customers are similarly situated. Now let me turn for a moment to the issue of coordinated system operations, something that you know I have quite a bit of interest in. Through the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, and all the way to the present, the Northwest utilities have worked together through the Northwest Power Pool to address many new and emerging operational challenges. Given this track record of success, I'm very excited about the work we currently have underway through the Power Pool to further enhance coordinated system operations. Through a continued focus on situational awareness, capacity adequacy, and economic optimization of resources, we have a chance to lay the foundation for an even more reliable, flexible, low-cost, and environmentally sustainable power system. Now, to me, this does not require a radical remaking of the system, but rather a continued evolution that builds on the Northwest's longstanding tradition of developing cost-effective, pragmatic solutions and doing so in a way that preserves local control and decision-making autonomy. Now that's a pretty daunting set of strategic objectives. It sort of takes your breath away, and it certainly reminds me that I'm going to need a lot of help here in the months and years ahead. But fortunately, I have an absolutely fantastic team, and I know I can count on help from many of you here in the region. In fact, by far the most satisfying aspect of my time at BPA has been the development of many professional and personal relationships with people throughout the industry. I just simply enjoy bringing together smart and dedicated people to help solve important public policy issues. Establishing and nurturing collaborative relationships is one of BPA's core values and something that will continue to be a hallmark of my time as BPA Administrator. Many of you also know that I care deeply about energy and the environment. Based on my personal background, education, and life experiences, I am genuinely worried about climate change and the impact our energy system has on our global ecosystems. I know that many of you share similar concerns, and I'm pleased to represent a region of the world with such a deep and abiding commitment to environmental sustainability. But in order to maintain our economic vitality and meet our ever-pressing environmental challenges, we're going to have to develop pragmatic, cost-effective solutions that, as Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has so clearly articulated, strikes that essential balance between jobs, the environment, and the economy. Finally, having worked across many different parts of BPA, I'm a strong believer in what we refer to as one BPA. That means thinking beyond your own group's narrow objectives and asking how can we meet the challenges and the collective needs of BPA most effectively. As BPA Administrator, I would like all of us within the region to ask that same timeless question. How can we best come together to meet the collective needs of the region in the most reliable, cost-effective, and environmentally sustainable way possible? If we stay true to our values and continue to focus on collaborative relationships and pragmatic problem solving, I'm confident that we can build a world-class power system for the 21st century. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate you all being here today.